After Demon Queen Callie asked Itami if he truly wanted to be a hero, his thoughts quickly reeled back to the day when he was sent into this world. Once the devious king set his sights on our hero, things quickly devolved into depravity. His days consist of screaming in agony until his throat cannot handle the torsion in his voice. Blindfolded and covered in wounds, Itami is subjected to the most inhumane torture methods known to man. For half a year, he is chained to a table where an unhinged doctor conducts painful and inhumane experiments on him, day in and day out. After a whole day of nothing but pain, nights are reserved for some healing touch. The comfort that the healing spells give him is a form of torture in and of itself. Full recovery just means that the whole gruesome process will start all over again. The Mad King is the one who devised this plan. He tries to watch the process as much as he can with his soulless eyes. There is only one person who questions his questionable methods. What does all this torture truly accomplish? It is the person that Itami knows as his master. She wants to know how the so-called hero will stay on the kingdom's side after everything that he has gone through in that cursed chamber. How can someone subject to such cruelty want to save the world? The king does not see that stuff as a problem since he arranged this scenario so that the poor hero would think that he has been kidnapped by demons. This bastard firmly believes that they are not doing all this savage stuff without a purpose. They checked Itami's mana hearth and found that he had a very special talent. That boy has the legendary dark mana hearth in his body. Every warrior worth their salt knows about the anomaly that is a dark mana hearth. The last person that possessed it was the Dragon Slayer hero. Those who possess such a rare trait can convert physical pain, mental pain, and pure hatred into a well of power. Furthermore, Itami's mana hearth has no limit. He has the potential to become even more powerful than the reigning demon lord. The crazy king is delusionally doing all of this just so he can protect his people from the demons. He's making a 15-year-old boy go through horrors beyond what the human mind can process. He thinks that it will not be a problem as they could always just brainwash the hero whenever they wanted. That way, the king could have his own little marionette killer. Today was a deviation from the usual torture routine. After a dose of agony, it's time for some practical battle training. The king wants the hero to worship his words as the only truth in this world. That way, he could redirect all the hatred in the kid's heart towards all demons. The green-haired master fears that the hero is just a teen and his psyche must be wildly unstable. But the kingdom has the best healers in the realm. They can basically heal all kinds of serious damage. Can you imagine the harrowing fear that Itami was feeling for the longest 6 months of his life? He was far from his family, transported to a strange new world with some extremely unhinged characters. Itami was lost and scared, and everything in between. After waking up from falling unconscious from the sheer pain, he laid eyes upon a chained-up wounded monster several times his size. Every day he thinks that demons are making him suffer, just for the fun of it. This day wasn't any different. They just found a new way to antagonize his already broken soul. But there was a tiny sliver of hope when the doctor told him that he would be set free if he managed to kill the monster. The healers will take care of any serious damages so he can fight without any regard for his health, because no matter how much he wanted to, he will never die. The king's mission to break the young hero to turn him into an ideal soldier was starting to take shape. A hero made by a king for his people. The private coliseum built for the death matches of criminals and captives has been pretty active as of late. Young hero Itami has been going up against monsters that were way out of his league for quite some time now. Every time he sustains an injury that would have killed a normal person, the kingdom's healers are always at the right place, at the right time to keep him alive. The only thing that he could think about was how much it hurt. His previous wounds hurt, his current wounds hurt, and his future wounds are still on their way. But at the hands of the monster, they will come. This might be a coliseum, but what's happening inside is far from a fight. It's a slaughter. Aside from the monster's roars and grunts, Itami could faintly hear the healer's chants. Whisper soft with the moon's bright gleam. Mend the hurt. Restore the dream. Revive the soul. Heal the body's seam. Those comforting words have long since been a grating reminder that this pain will continue much longer. A gentle touch full of life could make you ask for death. The revival of the soul was wholly ineffective when yours had evaporated long ago. Even though the body's seam heals up like nothing happened, the body still remembers. Who would have thought that the gift of life through healing could be such a cruel thing in the hands of a twisted mind? Itami has suffered too much. His pleas to stop the healing spells continuously fell on deaf ears. In the middle of all the pain, he remembered glimpses of his older sister telling him not to worry. Just when some semblance of hope was forming, it could easily crumble down. A kick from the gigantic monster wrapped around his body, breaking who knows how many bones. He must have known every corner of this place with how many times he crashed and fell everywhere. Sometimes thinking about his sister takes him out of the excruciating experience for a little while. He knew that she was probably worrying about him right about now. Remembering her caring words and love made him want to return. In order to do that, he can't be a punching bag for this overgrown monster forever. The first day that he was transported into this strange place, he immediately came up to the king with a request to return back home. That bastard paused for a few seconds and flashed a smile while informing him that the kingdom doesn't have the capability to send him back. But he certainly knew someone who could do just that. After months of torture, the thing keeping Itami going was the prospect of meeting the Demon Lord, the only person who could send him back home. Slumped in the corner of the Colosseum, Itami's eyes looked as though they just caught a second wind. The healing touch also lit up, patching his life-threatening injuries first. He recalled the doctor's words when he was dropped into this death match. Itami was supposed to be free to do whatever he wanted since he could not die in this cage. His mind has finally snapped. He likened his ridiculous situation to that of a video game. The young hero might be experiencing all kinds of pain known to man, but all he had to do was kill the monster in front of him to succeed. He just had to rip that bastard that's been giving him hell piece by piece. The hurt he was feeling was unbearable, but his hate for his situation, for the people who put him here, for everything was stronger. With one final vow to kill the monster, the hero's latent ability has awakened. He felt his body burning with a mysterious power that he'd never felt before. The burn felt so good that he vowed to kill this ugly giant up front and then go on to the next step. No matter how much it would hurt, he would kill the Demon Lord and then return to his sister. Because he's the hero, and that's what a hero does. After considering Callie's question and being lost in the sauce of his tortured days, Itami could not even formulate an actual answer. He didn't know what he wanted. After those inhuman 6 months, he tried his best to be a hero like the Dragon Slayer hero was. All it gave him was even more pain, losing the people that he loved and cared about. A little sister's head on a spike, a beloved master's final words as she drew her last breath. That's what being a hero got him. Itami believed that he had failed. He was supposed to be the savior, but he wasn't able to save the people dear to him. When he tried to take the path of a traditional hero, innocent demons suffered. But when he wasn't playing his role, there was nobody who could save the humans. Whatever he did, whichever side he chose to protect, someone would inevitably suffer. Demon Queen Callie knew a few things about filling a big role in this world. She knew that it's practically impossible to please everyone. No matter what anyone did, someone would suffer. That's just how this world worked. But she wanted him to think a few years into the future, 60 to 70 years from now, when he's old and decrepit. He would inevitably ask himself what his biggest regrets were. The only right way to live life is to do everything to not regret anything. After dropping some queenly wisdom, the firework festival finally started, lighting up the skies and bringing color to the dark. It's a given that people will suffer no matter what. But Itami needed to realize that his life is in his own hands. Human life is short, so that's all the more reason to do whatever and be whatever. Someone will suffer, but he has to realize that he's not in charge of that someone else's life. Itami felt like he was hearing the words that he so badly wanted to hear for as long as he could remember. The enlightenment brought about by Callie's advice was accentuated by the beautiful fireworks painting the heavens. The hero's once vacant gaze now glows with a newfound radiance, as if a dormant ember has ignited within. Perhaps it was with this demon queen that he finally found a ray of hope for himself in this cruel world.